Basketball is my life. I have nothing else.
This is incredible. This is the best grateful I've ever heard.
Shooters. That's what we do.
Shooters, a basketball podcast. Let's go.
I'm going to lead us in because last episode, Jack was singing to us. It was beautiful. I'm wearing the Christmas sweater this time. I'm in the festive spirit, just like the Jack jumpers were yesterday. But I'm just glad that we get to chat this week. Sorry I missed last week. I hope you coped all right without me. You did well. You handled it well.
Well, the solo episode wasn't the problem. I hope everyone enjoyed it. The problem was I didn't get to talk to you. And a week without Darren is a week not as good as what it possibly could be. So I'm glad we're back. I'm glad everyone gets to listen to us talk and chat it up. But more importantly, I'm just looking forward to catching up.
Me too. Well, firstly, how was your first Christmas experience? Like, I know it's just basketball. Played the game last night, but I don't know. Did you get some time to just, spoil yourself in some good food? Did you get to treat yourself at all? Or was it just, focus, basketball only?
Now, listen. So leading up to it, I was always like, I don't really care. We're playing on Christmas Day. It's whatever. It's however it goes. I've trained almost every Christmas day of my career. But it definitely stank a little bit. Like, it was probably, I would have to say, and I don't mean this in a depressing way because I've always had some good Christmases, but it would have to be up there with worst Christmas I've ever had.
Wow.
Yeah. And that, I'm not saying that in a sad way because, don't get me wrong, I got to do what I love, which was play basketball, but it just wasn't at Christmas. I just didn't get Christmas this year. But we tried to make the most of it. So I got home after the game at 9 o'clock. Drim came over, Anthony Drimmick, Fab. We set up the couch co-op, played some games until about 3:30 in the morning. So that was a pretty good time, a great way to end the night.
I like that. I like that a lot because obviously you're all away from, most of you away from your family. I saw Jordan Crawford's, I think it was his mum and his daughter. They got interviewed, which was nice. So some get to spend with their family depending on where you play and your family situation. But hey, your family's your friends in this case. So that was cool that you at least got to experience that part with them. What did you play? What was on the setup?
Oh, we're playing it's a game type called roguelike. So they're ones where you die and then you start the run over again. You try and finish it. And so we're playing a game called Ember Knights, which is a little Switch game. And it was some good fun. We had lots of laughs and a little bottle of red wine and some chocolate. So we did treat ourselves and make the end of the night feel like Christmas.
I like that a lot, actually. I like that a lot. I was going to say, because I just got to do the usual typical Christmas stuff, so much food, so much family time, but it's good. It's just exhausting. I got home yesterday and I'm glad I got to go home. I actually missed the start of your game. I was watching it on my phone on the way home because I was just like to Jess, we've got to be home by 5:30. Jack's playing, so it's part of I have to do it. But I got to watch most of it, which is good, but it was just nice just to be able to, chill at home and watch basketball for the whole night. So I thoroughly enjoyed that as the end of my Christmas, that's for sure.
Well, we'll talk a little bit of food. What was the highlight of your food? You stuffed yourself all day. What was something you enjoyed eating on Christmas Day?
I don't know. My family does it very well, so I'll touch on this later. But just so firstly, Christmas Eve was with my mum. She hosted she lives up in the country somewhere, so an hour and a half drive. That was nice. It works well because she does Christmas Eve, and I do my dad's side on Christmas Day. So it works very well actually. But there's just so much food and the typical ham, turkey. Desserts are always nice at our places, my family's place as well. So that was great. But it's just catching up with family. That's a fun part because you just don't really do it that often. And I realize the more and more I say how good this is, it just rubs it in that you weren't able to do it, and none of the NBL or WNBL players are able to do it and stuff. But it's a harsh business. But yeah, it's just a funny thing. I keep hearing people online talking about whether they like the Christmas Day games and what it means for players and stuff. So it's an interesting one to talk about.
It definitely is. And make sure that you talk about how good family was because that's what it's all about. And we understand that this comes with the job. It's not as crazy as what people realize. We understand we miss weddings. We miss birthdays. We kind of have this job where it's 6 months of no days off and then 4 months of where you get to do whatever you want. And so there is a lot of benefits coming when it's the off season. And obviously we get to play a game for a living. So it's not all dooms and gloom, but this year was a lot of intense focus on game day. And sadly it came out with a loss. So Southeast Melbourne were the Grinches this Christmas.
They were. Maybe we should just jump into. Let's mix it up. Let's just jump into that game straight away. Like, how was it? Was the vibe different in the building being Christmas, or was it kind of? I don't know. Did it like you? You guys are always packed out. You guys are always selling out. So maybe the vibe just felt like a normal game. Like, talk to us about that.
Well, it was awesome definitely seeing people rock up in the outfits. You know, everyone, as my boy Darren right now is wearing an ugly sweater, looking sharp. And there was a lot of epic outfits. The kids were in high spirits and the energy was good. You've got Christmas songs playing in the warm-up and throughout the game. So it's cool. But for us, it was definitely a weird feeling, but I would say we're playing pretty normal. We're still showing up for a shoot around. We're all getting the shoot around in. I'm still taking my game day nap. It's just got some phone calls here and there that are happening a bit more, you know, calling family and all those things. But it definitely had a little different energy, and it was obviously cool wearing our Christmas jerseys, which I'm a big fan of.
They were great. They were great. I was staring at them, and I made a point to show Jess as well because it just looks like, well, you're just like running around looking like Christmas trees. Essentially, it looked pretty cool. I did enjoy it, and then the photos of the fans doing the same. But yeah, I just wondered whether Christmas actually felt different as a game day experience. But I suppose you guys probably wouldn't switch anything up. It's more just like the surroundings and in-game entertainment and the people coming potentially. But I'm like, yeah, it probably just feels exactly like the same game. But I was annoyed because I was obviously rooting for you, but you guys walked away with the loss. It was a close game. It was a good game for me as a fan to watch. But yeah, I also enjoyed. Can you guess what my favorite part of it was? There was a few favorite moments, but I reckon the you and Benny Air sort of tangling up and mixing it up, and I always enjoy to see how you react because I'm like, well, I know they're mates off the court, but it's just funny that it happened to be you two, and you're so fiery, both of you. So that was a funny moment for anyone that didn't see. It was pretty much just one of those like after whistle plays where Jack's already driving and they both basically go on with it, and Ben sort of, I think that you got your arms just locked up and you took a bit of a fall, and instead of doing the classic, you know, so many players like turn around to the other one and kind of start saying something, but you're like, no, I'm going to hype up the crowd. This is my moment to just walk around to the crowd, and it was a classic you experience. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not really into all that pushing and shoving. That doesn't mean much at all. You know, Benny's making a play after it, and I'm making a play, and or the only thing I care about is winning. And if anything, the guys were definitely a little tired going into the game. Yeah. Just the energy was low. So any moment that I could use, especially in that fourth quarter, to get the crowd involved, I was taking that opportunity and try and roll with it. But credit to Southeast. It was cool seeing Matt Kenyon. He was back in Tassie on Christmas Day. Where else would you rather be? And he played a great game. And then they just grabs too many O boards for us to win in a game where both teams were tired, and you could see and feel the legs towards the end, and their O boards helped them get easy buckets, and they came with a big road win.
Good to see Milton Dorr doing his thing again. He's kind of like, he's obviously had some family stuff going on, but he was killing it, especially in that first half when you guys needed that lift. He was doing a bit of everything, so just fun to see him get back to his best. Yeah, just a good game, really.
I agree. Well, the first game, and it was the Christmas round, we had New Zealand versus Sydney, and New Zealand with a big win, 109 to Sydney 101. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it was a big win. New Zealand are slowly getting their team back. Will McDowell-White played a few minutes off the bench. I think Zylan Cheatham was technically active. I don't think he stepped out there, even though he was cheering on the bench and stuff. But just one of those games where Sydney, I can't get a read on Sydney. I don't know about you, but like 1 week you're like, okay, they're being slept on. They're definitely contenders. And then the next week, I think they lost 2 games this round, considering they lost last night as well. I can't get a read on them, but I have no doubt they'll still be there at the end of the year. I think they're probably third or something right now. Yeah, what did you make of it as well?
Well, first off is I love particular matchups. As a basketball player, I'm always trying to play against the best players I can play against, test myself, try and come out on top. That little bit of that individual battle. And I love watching Lamb play basketball. Yeah. His post moves are incredible. I'm watching his highlights. I'm trying to learn some things, his footwork, his poise, his control. So I love just watching Lamb do his thing, score the ball, and then I love battling with him out there. So it was awesome. I love just watching him play and admiring great scorers.
Strong as well. He seems strong in the post. Like once he gets his feet planted, he kind of just he's obviously been around the NBA and he knows what he's doing, so it's just hard. But speaking of another good win, Cairns got it was pretty much a 20-point win over Southeast Melbourne after that. the Pat Miller talk. He after the interview, after the game, whoever was talking to him after the game mentioned the MVP conversation. He was just basically like, yeah, I think I'm in it, especially if the wins keep piling on. So I like that narrative because, as I said before, from the very beginning of this season, he was like one of the most consistent players, I feel. So shout out to him. Shout out to Campbell getting that big dub. Obviously, Mitch Creek is not playing with the Phoenix right now, but still a strong team without him.
Yeah, I like the Patrick Miller MVP. Obviously, I'm a passionate believer that you need to be top 2, top 3 in the league and finish in that to be MVP or to be in consideration. Last 2 years, Xavier Cooks with the first team, plus minuses through the roof, affecting winning in a lot of ways. But every team kind of has a potential MVP, especially if they're up that top 2, 3. And I don't see why Patrick Miller can't be that if they keep putting those wins together. And they are a team that I think is going to get better as the season goes along. And as we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, they haven't played much basketball together with the injuries and all the little things. TJ McCall going home to have a kid. A lot of that disruption, it takes time to gel on a basketball court.
It does. Now, you guys got the win over Illawarra. We don't need to touch on that one too much because we already touched on your game after that. But I enjoyed Steindl off the bench. He did his thing. He did his he has a classic moment of just popping up and getting on a hot streak like he can. Also, I just realized, did we start this episode without saying Merry Christmas to everyone listening? That's a bit rude of us, isn't it?
And we did. I like where your tangent just went from Clint Steindl popping up off the bench to Merry Christmas.
Oh, I was just like, wait a second. I know you briefly said it in your solo episode last week, but Merry Christmas, everyone. Thanks for listening. We're recording on Boxing Day, so, we're dedicated to the grind here. We're willing to catch up as well. It's a good opportunity, but Merry Christmas. I hope you had a good day yesterday. This will be released on the normal Thursday, but Christmas tends to last for feels like 2 weeks sometimes. So hope you're still enjoying it. Hope you enjoy the time off. And that was a nice little, it sounds like I'm ending the episode, but we're only halfway through. Melbourne, Perth. I was at that game, but you can take me away to see. What did you see from that one?
Well, first off, the Melbourne Perth, I love the fireworks. So we've got to give a shout out to those at the halftime. We'd come off our game. The fireworks were going crazy. The views with the open arena, the sun setting over the city of Melbourne.
It's cool.
That was my MVP of the game. Obviously, it was a great game of basketball too, but just seeing how far the NBL's come, the content that is being produced with the quality of camera work, the quality of ideas, execution, just the whole branding is growing, and how awesome that was to see an open air game, to create something a little different, a little special. I know I saw some people online saying, oh, it's just an open air game, who cares, like basketball, whatever. But anytime you can do a little something different, mix up the game, add a little something special, I think it's awesome, and I'm hoping one day I get to play in another open air game. I've played in one, but it's very, very cool.
That was going to be my next question, actually. If you've played in one, and whether it, do you reckon it actually affects you? Like, I was thinking more just like your depth perception and stuff of that nature. Like, people say the wind, it's fun. People say the wind, but I reckon.
I definitely. Yeah. I've only played in one. The only thing that was weird was like sun hitting certain spots in the court. Like when you're playing, so I'd say the sun, and then you come out at halftime and it's pitch black and like the lights are on. So that's the only part that's like a little weird, but it doesn't affect. We've been playing on crazy courts our entire lives, so it doesn't really affect you at all.
It's just basketball. It's just basketball at the end of the day. But I thoroughly enjoyed this one because I wasn't even, I was just a fan. I got some tickets for me and my friends. We're up in the stands. And it was actually, I really enjoyed just watching the game from a fan perspective and not having anything to do. Like normally I'm running around with my camera, like doing that stuff. And I've said it before, but sometimes you don't take in the game that well, like when you're just shooting, because you just like, was that a good photo? Should I be switching between photo and video? Like you just focus on the content side of things. But hell of a game. Glad we picked that one to go. Good seats. Thanks, Nicole, from our team for organising that. Appreciate that. My friends appreciated it as well. But hell of a game as well. Like Bryce Cotton, watching him in person, really cool. I always love watching him sort of give it to the opposition crowd because he's kind of like a quiet dude. But when he knows he's feeling it, he had like 36 points in that game. Gives a few looks to his bench, gives a few looks to the crowd. But yeah, in the end, Melbourne won. It was a great game. Honestly, one of the best games I've remember watching in person or just on the TV as well. So great one.
I know the overtime win was just epic, and Melbourne proving why they're the best team in the league right now. Adelaide versus Brisbane on Christmas Eve. Adelaide gets the win, 95 to Brisbane 88 in a close game. Although the 7-point win, it came right down to the wire with it all tied up with a minute to go. And DJ doing his thing, scoring the ball. But for me, it was Jacob Wiley and his consistency and that energy. He was playing well. I think he was 8 from 12 from the field, 21 points, 12 rebounds. And when he's running the floor, playing out of that short pick and roll, he's doing some good stuff.
No, he was great. And then another one was just, I tuned in. It was one of those games where I was just like, I looked at the final, like the score as it was, and it was close. And I'm like, I'm tuning into this. And all I saw was DJ Vasiljevic and Trey Gale hit those big threes down the stretch. And that was a wrap. So another close game. But I was keen to watch these Christmas Day games. We already touched on yours. Did you get a chance to watch Illawarra Sydney, or were you too busy gaming at that point?
I was a little bit too busy gaming, but we're always following box scores as players. So I tuned in for the last 5 minutes of the game. But you take this one away, because I was busy trying to eat some Christmas food and talking to some loved ones. What do you think of the Illawarra, who got the win over Sydney, 94-90?
It was a big game. It was a big game. I just assumed Sydney would run over the top of them at the end. But as humans, I feel like we're always going for the underdogs. So Illawarra, it was a great win. They didn't beat you guys, but they're back in the winning board. And I was going to say, I reckon like everyone goes to Justin Tatum and the whole him coming in and changing this the landscape, I guess, of that team. But you got to give credit to the players, because they're the ones actually performing on the court and getting these wins and getting their record up to something pretty decent. Lockie Olbrich was a name. People were loving what he was doing, especially on defense. He had a few like really nice moments where people were like, okay, I see the potential here. So I think that was definitely the thing that I took away from him, and then just giving credit to the players, because everyone talks about the coach, but at the end of the day, it's you guys who have to actually perform out there.
Lockie's athleticism is elite. The way he moves at his side, his ability to rebound, he plays hard. There's no doubt in my mind he's got a really, really bright future, and he's someone that I'm excited to see develop. And people don't realize it takes some time to get confident and out there to find consistent minutes. It's just one of those things, and he's finding ways to impact games when he's getting shorter amount of minutes out there, and it's fun to watch. And then shout out to the players. It is a debate that I always have in my head all the time. Is it just all the coach? Is an argument that I make all the time. We're just some nice tools in a shed, but you can't perform without nice tools, but those nice tools are going to be useless if your coach doesn't know how to use them. So I think that's the way I kind of look at it. It's if you can have rusty tools, it doesn't matter how good the coach is, the team's not going to be the greatest. But if you have some really good tools, then the coach doesn't know how to use them. That piece of wood is falling on the floor and nothing beautiful is being made. So it is a little bit of a combination, but at the end of the day, that head coach is the leader. He's setting the tone. He's creating the culture. He's pushing everyone every single day. Players are always going to try and take the easy route, because training hard is hard. Your body breaks down mentally. It's impossible to show up feeling good every day. And if you need that coach to be pushing you guys and making you uncomfortable. And I mean, right now they're 4-2 with the new coach.
I like that, actually. I was like, you know what? Give the players more love. And you're like, I often debate whether it's more like it's actually fully the coach. But I like that. It's one to think about. Like, it does make you think about how important each aspect is, obviously. Both are important, but that's a wrap for the games, because we've ran it because the Christmas period is a weird one. There's still 2 games to go in round 12, Cairns, Perth tonight, and Brisbane, New Zealand. We're recording on a Tuesday, so they'll be done by the time it comes out. But hey, we're not wrapping on those ones because Boxing Day is more important to us. Go on.
I agree. Well, now you have to give us a prediction. Who's going to win out of Cairns, Perth, Brisbane, New Zealand?
I mean, it's a great call. Cairns, Perth. No, I like Perth. They look very good against Melbourne. I trust them now, even though Cairns are coming off that win. But Perth have got that one. Brisbane, New Zealand. That's a tough one. I'm going to say New Zealand are going to make it 2 in a row. Don't know why. I didn't watch the game that much, but hey, I trust them. Don't know why.
Well, this is epic. For the first time in Shooters Pod history, Darren and Jack are disagreeing. I'm going Cairns are going to win against Perth, and then Brisbane is going to win against New Zealand. So we've got a friendly wager on tonight's games.
Beautiful. And not only that, we just said that I reckon players are more to give credit to, and you reckon coaches are. So we're doing well. I reckon it's nice. It's a nice change of pace here. Very well.
It is good. I tell you what, that's what these podcasts, we're always positive. We're always agreeing. Maybe in the new year after this post-Christmas, there could be intense arguments on the Shooters podcast. Tune in to find out.
Hype someone up. I just want to hype someone up. Go on a bit of a rant. Anyone that's caught our attention, just give them some love.
I've actually got two. So I'm going to start off. It reminded, I don't know, you looked really impressed then. The first one is just hyping up everyone that hosts on Christmas Day. Delicious food all around over the weekend. My mum first did a hell of a job. My cousins and aunties and stuff yesterday did a hell of a job. But my second one, I don't know if you got a chance to, I don't know how often you go onto social media as soon as your game ends. But Mitch Creek he just couldn't help but, I think he was driving home from somewhere, jumped on Instagram, his story, and just gave a bit of a hype up to his team. And I liked it. So I'm going to play it through the mic, and then I'm going to play it, the actual one, in the actual edit. But did you have a chance to see it before I ruin what it was?
No, I haven't. I've been completely off social media for the last couple of weeks, really.
That is an absolutely monster win. The amount of shit from all the commentators, all the media heads, every single person under the comment section, everyone shitting on all the players. That is a fucking gutsy win. Like, that is a massive win. Tasmania are an incredible team. Incredible team. And to do that on the road, minus all of the great players that we have out at the moment, is so incredible. It's not even a Christmas miracle, it's just the absolute base of what we can achieve, and we can get to any place we want to get to. We're the only people that hold ourselves back. To do that on a day like today, in a hostile environment, is absolutely mega. And I'll tell you what, that's a proud moment to be a part of this Southeast Melbourne Phoenix team. Mega. Merry Christmas.
Thoughts?
There you go. I mean, he's hyping up his team. He's probably had a beer or two on Christmas Day, enjoying himself, but he's on the money. It's an epic win and a tough place to play against a good team. And they came, they saw, and got a little Christmas non-miracle. But I love how much people say Christmas miracles on Christmas.
It's quite funny, isn't it? I just enjoyed it. I liked it. What have you got?
My hype up is not for the players on Christmas Day, but everyone else that's working, from managers, from the media, to the referees, to people setting up the stadiums, to people just working outside of basketball, to Beth being a paramedic. So just everyone working on Christmas Day, making sure the world runs. I'm hyping them up today.
I love it. And, even if we were disagreeing a few moments ago, we are in sync and we can't avoid it, because my grateful for was just grateful for you guys actually working on Christmas Day and everyone working on Christmas Day. It was more towards the players just putting on a show and actually having to perform in that situation. But very grateful for you guys, because it's just everyone else gets to be with their families. Everyone else gets to do the normal thing, get to let loose, few drinks, few food. Lovely food, as I keep mentioning, but yeah, nothing changes for you guys, so I'm grateful for you. Well done out there. Didn't get the win, but it didn't matter.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. That's what it's all about. We definitely kept some people entertained on Christmas Day, and we grew the brand of NBL, so it's a step in the right direction. My grateful for is actually for a teammate, Jared Bairstow, who right now is waiting outside my house. We're in no rush, though. I told him he's waiting calmly, but he's about to check out my backyard. We're about to go to Bunnings, and we're about to do a complete backyard makeover. And I'm excited to put on some gloves, to get out the back and get to work.
Love it. There you go. Jess just got back from Bunnings, so we're just doing the same thing these days. I love it. Well, you have to give us make sure you do a before and after pic of whatever you guys do in the backyard. It might not be great. It might be spectacular. Who knows? But documented it for me. I'm curious what you do out there.
I can do that for you. I'll definitely take some photos, take some videos, and we can see what we can do.
Lovely. Well, it was nice. Good to chat again. Go let Jared in the front door. I just imagine him standing there hello, but I'm sure Farb or someone has let him in. But good to catch up. Merry Christmas again. I hope you got some joy out of the day and the week, even though didn't get the dub, but it's not really about that at the end of the day.
100%. It's fun. Family had a great time. A lot of people around me had a great time. Darren had a great time. And sometimes that's all that matters. But when this episode is released, we'll be close to New Year's. This is always a weird time in between Christmas and New Year's. So are we saying Happy New Year as well when we end this episode?
Yeah, I think we should. Do you? I feel like you're the type of guy that would make New Year's resolutions. Are you not? You are? Do you have any
Yeah.
public ones that you're happy to go live with, or maybe next episode?
Yeah, next episode. Let's break that down. My New Year's little resolutions, goals, and habits that I want to incorporate into the next year.
I was actually the other day. I was looking at my 2023 goals, and some of them happened, some of them didn't. But it's kind of cool. I just have like literally in my notes app on my iPhone. You just see I had like 4 or 5 little things I wanted to work on. But it's kind of cool what your mindset was at the start of the year compared to what you actually achieved. So I quite enjoy it. Even if you don't get them, maybe you just goals change and stuff. So it's good to do in a way.
I like it. I definitely like it. Beth and I are big on it. But that is a wrap for this episode, and a wrap to Christmas and all those presents. Wow, that was smooth. I appreciate you guys listening. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Always thank you for listening, and I hope you guys have had a great week, great couple days, and a great Christmas.
I can't match that. So Merry Christmas once again. Happy New Year. One of us or both of us will be back next time. I don't know. This, as Jack said, this time of year is a weird one. So thanks for listening. Goodbye.